What's up, guys? So I know a lot of you requested a video on how to play the Punk Tearlament deck that I just put out. I'm going to be uploading my commentary on my gameplay from my Twitch VOD and the last case tournament that I just played in with it. But today I'm just going to mainly show you guys some of the streamlined combo. A lot of you guys assume that Tearlament is a very RNG type strategy, but there's a lot of ways to like mitigate that and do guaranteed combos. So I figured I will show you some of that today, and we'll also do some like test hands. Let's get right into it. So the first one is like gonna be teleport by itself. So I'm just gonna do like teleport with like a discard. So we're gonna do teleport summon Zaman. Zaman's gonna pay you 600 life points and grab you Foxy Tune. It's important to know that if you do have another Punk in your hand, what you would typically do instead, let's say you open up like Zaman Foxy Tune, what you would do is you would actually grab Ogre Dancer off the Aemon if it resolves, and then you would use Ogre Dancer to put itself in the graveyard to search Deer Note. And the reason why you do this is because it puts an extra dark in your graveyard, which may come up later to make Mud Dragon or something along those lines. But for the sake of this video, let's assume that we only open Aemon, Foxy 2, and like one random card. Like, let's say, I don't know. Try and put like an example of like a bad card, I guess. Let's say like Dark Ruler. You go Foxy Tune, send itself to the graveyard. Send Dark Ruler to the graveyard. Summon the Deer Note. You then are going to use both of these to make Chaos Ruler. And you're going to go Chainlink 1 Chaos Ruler, Chainlink 2 Deer Note to bring back the Zaman. The reason why you bring back Zaman is because you want to make Hulky Fibrax after. That's like the main reason. So there are some examples. There's sometimes you like summon Foxy Tune. It's mainly when you go second and you need to like kill your opponent. But for the majority, or for the sake of this video, you're going to be summoning back Zaman for the combo. You're going to mill 5. I'm just going to banish 5 to show that it doesn't matter what you really hit. But you'll see that, like, obviously I'm going to hit, like, Sharon here. And, like, combo off it. But for the sake of this video, we're going to assume we, are an unlucky dude. And we're going to make Fiber. You then go Fiber, summon Shinobi. You're going to use the Shinobi in the Hulky Fibrax to then make Slight Elf. You'll then activate the Chaos Ruler to banish the Fox in your graveyard and the Shinobi to summon back the Chaos Ruler, triggering Shinobi to summon itself back. And then you're going to use both of these to make Baron. And you now, like, your opponent has, like, some really weird options. They have to nib you on Chaos Ruler and Shinobi. Not only, and they can't really hold nib imperm. The main reason is because when you make Baron, it's going to be pointing to Slight Elf, and which makes it so that Baron is untargetable. Because whatever points to Elf cannot be targeted. So that's going to be, like, really annoying, because now your opponent has to, like, if they have, like, nib, imperm, or whatever, they have to, like, nib you right here. So that's, like, another thing to consider. But basically, this is a setup. Now, if you go back a couple steps, you can do something really cool, too, which is, I'll put these in the graveyard. You're going to go back to the game state where you had Deer Note, Zaman. You're going to make Chaos Ruler. Use Deer Note to bring back the Shinobi. And this is the... Or not the Shinobi, I'm sorry. The Zaman. You're going to use both of these to make Fiber. And then you're going to use Fiber to summon out the Shinobi. Okay, so when you're at this game state, what you could do is, instead of making Elf, you could use Shinobi and Hulky Fibrax to make Dark instead. And then activate the effect of Chaos Ruler to banish the Shinobi and your Foxy Tune. And now you're going to summon back the Chaos Ruler and trigger Shinobi summon itself back. And here you can actually use Dark, Shinobi, and Chaos Ruler to actually make Curious. And this can guarantee you, like, Snow, pretty much. You'll also have, like, if you look at your graveyard, you'll have a bunch of cards in the grave. You have, like, 6 right here, and then you'll have 8. You'll have, like, these in the graveyard. Right? So you can actually just send, like, for example, either Snow. You can send, like, you can even send, like, a Sharon. You can send Celiac, for example. Right? If you're, like, down bad. Mill 3. And then trigger Celiac to search Rhinoheart. And then normal summon Rhinoheart. And then, try to play from here. Right? Because you go normal summon Rhinoheart, send, like, a name, trigger a name, etc., etc. So this is just, like, the 2 examples I was talking about. Because I talked about in my profile that teleport by itself is either a Curious line or a Baron Elf line, and this is exactly what I mean by that. So I hope that clears up that first question. So that's, like, the first main streamlined, like, combo. So second is it's gonna be, like, really dependent on, like, how you open. Wow, this hand is broken. I mean, you guys saw this hand. I literally just did it. But let's say we can use this hand as an example. So the way I would play this hand out is I want to play my Punk Engine first. Okay, so there's like some, I guess, some into the mind version of like how I think about like playing the Punk tier deck. So you're thinking about like how to sequence your hand and play your hand as optimally as possible. I want to play my Punk Engine first and not use my tier engine yet, because if my tier engine mills components of my Punk Engine like the Deer Note, it's gonna be very awkward for me. So I want to use and commit the Punk Engine first. So I'm gonna start off with Teleport. I'm gonna summon Zim. I'm gonna use the effect of this and search Foxy Tune. And then I'm gonna use Foxy Tune effect, send Celiac to the graveyard, summon the Deer Note. And then use Celiac effect when it's sent to the graveyard to search a tier monster from my deck to my hand. In this scenario, I'm actually going to grab the Rhino Heart. Mainly because it's like my normal summon. It also combos with Pellerino pretty well. So like the reason why I want to grab a Rhino Heart as early as possible, because if they somehow like stop this, which I don't think they would at this point, like you rather just have Rhino Heart because it's a 1-card combo and you haven't normal summon yet. So I'm going to add Rhino Heart to my hand. I'm going to use both of these to make Chaos Driller, and then, you know, do the Chain Block, Chain Link 2 to bring back Aemon, Chain Link 1, Chaos Driller. We're going to see what we mill here. Wow, we milled insane. I mean, you have a really high chance to hit, though. When you mill 5, like, you have a ridiculously high chance to hit, because I maxed out all the tier names, so it's not unlikely at all for me. I think, like, if I did the math, it was like 80 or 90% chance to hit one name when you mill the top 5 card. It's like potting, it's like activating Pot of Prosperity, reveal 5 cards off the deck, and one of the cards that you reveal has to be a tier card, right? It's like very likely. But off the Chaos Driller, we're gonna grab a card to our hand. It's most likely gonna be let me think. So I don't want to grab my tier monsters, because the tier monsters are gonna, I want to use them to make a Kalos. So I'm most likely gonna be grabbing the, let me think, because my Fiber doesn't actually do anything anymore. I could actually see myself grabbing Foxy Tune. I'm thinking about actually just grabbing the Shinobi. I'm gonna grab the Shinobi here, and then I'm gonna activate the effect of just Miru. I don't need to use Hofness. If they crow my Miru, it doesn't matter, because I still have multiple names to use. So I'm just gonna put in the chat that I'm using Miru effect, which is the level 2, right? So I'm gonna write down the 2 here. So I'm gonna use both of them to put itself back, and then I'm gonna be summoning Kekalos, and then I'm going to trigger Kekalos's effect. And here I'm going to actually add the trap from the deck to hand. I want to do this as early as possible in case I don't want to get unlucky and mill the trap, because having a trap as part of my interruption is really, really strong, because it beats Dark Ruler. So I want to grab the trap as early as possible, and I don't care about grabbing a tier name off Kekalos, because I can use Kekalos' effect to summon Rhino Hearts from my hand. Now the next thing that I'm probably going to be doing is I'm going to be using Shinobi. I'm gonna normal summon the Shinobi, because I already have Kekalos. I don't need to use my normal summon for a tier monster, so I'm gonna use my normal summon the Shinobi that I added back. So there's gonna be that. I'm then gonna use I'm gonna make Elf with Shinobi and Xamon. And then use Elf's effect to bring back Shinobi. Now at this point they have to nib me. So this line is pretty cool, because now they have to nib me, right? If they don't nib me, I make Barone, and it's untargetable by Elf. So that's really bad for them. But if they do nib me, let's say hypothetically they do nib me, it doesn't matter, because then I go Chaos Driller, banish Shinobi's Necro, banish Fox 2, and I make Barone anyways. So this is a very rough spot for them. That's why adding back to Shinobi was really powerful there. I had to think a little bit about when I put in my graveyard, like what I wanted to do, and I wanted to think a couple steps ahead. Whenever I play this deck, you have to think like a couple steps ahead. So I'm here. I'm gonna make Barone. I'm gonna put it into the zone that Elf points to on purpose. And then I'm going to activate Kekalos' effect to send itself to the graveyard and summon Rhino Heart, okay? I'm going to make Kekalos' effect Chainlink 2 and Rhino Heart Chainlink 1. The main reason I do that is because I want to see what I mill first. And I want to see the RNG mills off the 5, and then do the guarantee mill off the Rhino Heart, right? So let's mill 5. I hit Hofness, nice. And then I'm going to send Sherilyn, right? So these are the only names I've not used yet, the 3 and the 4. So now at this point, I can make a bunch of stuff, right? So Hofness can be used with Kekalos to make the one that draws a card, the 6. I can also use Hofness and I can put back Hoffness as well as put back Shinobi. But I don't want to do that because I want to banish that off Chaos Ruler. I think in this example, the thing that I want to do is I'm actually going to use Hoffness's effect. But I'm actually going to be trying to use it to make the Garua. Because I want to put a... I want to make a... what do you call it? A Curious, right? So I'm going to use the Hoffness here and put itself back. And I'm going to put back the Shaylin. I'm going to keep this in my graveyard, the Kikalos, because I can use that to make Zepelia later. And I'm going to make the Garua here because it will let me get a draw. You're probably thinking about, wait, Pack, what do you mean? How are you going to get access to Curious? Well, you can then use Chaos Ruler to banish the Shinobi and the Fox's Tune and then bring back the Shinobi. And now you have 3 Darks that are 3 different types, right? So you're going to banish this. And here I'm going to make Chainlink 1 Curious, Chainlink 2 Garua to draw a card. And then Curious is going to resolve. I'm going to send Snow to the graveyard. And then Curious effect then triggers to mill 3 cards. So I'm going to mill 3. I already used Hoffness, so I'm going to put the 3 there. Mill 1 more. So I hit Shirin, Dark a little more, and Ogre Dancer. At this point, I'm going to activate the effect of Shirin because I haven't used it yet. I'm going to put back the Shirin. I'm going to put back the Kikalos. And then I'm going to make my... let me think. 1, 2. And then I'm going to put back... Sorry, guys. Let me think a little bit. Thinking. Yeah, I'm going to put back... I'm going to put back the Reinhardt, which will get banned. Wait, did I summon it? Oh, no. It won't get banished. To make... Kaleido Heart. If I want, because I think it might be, hold on, let me think if it's better to activate Foliage and trigger Sharon later. Actually, I might just use Foliage to trigger Sharon later, but it's like follow-up. It depends. So this is what you should do, because this card doesn't lose to Super Poly. It's like really broken. But what you could do, hypothetically, is you could actually, instead of putting these back, instead of putting this back, another line that you could also have done, and then you have, I think this is on the board, this is in the graveyard. Another option that you could have done as well was, even though you hit the Sharon off the Curious, you won't use the effect yet. The main reason is because you could Snow first, so you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So these 7. 7 back the Snow, overlay the Snow with the Reinhardt to make Dweller. Then you'll activate Dweller to detach the Reinhardt, so you get full value. Then you go Foolish for Sharon, and then you use Sharon to put back itself, the Kikalos, and the Reinhardt, and then you make Kaleido Heart. So this might be more efficient, to be honest. And then you can then teleport for Aemon, and then make use these 2, make the Appaloosa for 2, and then you have Metanoise. You'll activate the field spell, probably grab Hoffness, and then have Super Poly set as well. So there's so many options you could do, but this is like pretty good end board, you know? It's not too shabby. Not too shabby, you know what I'm saying? Not too bad. I would say this is pretty good. So yeah, I mean, this is one of the test hands. You can also do a line where you make IP as well. On your opponent's turn, you'll like Dweller them. And if they like droplets you, I mean, if they Dark Ruler you, you have Metanoise, you have Hoffness, you have this. You have so many options. Like, you probably are still in a very fine spot regardless. But yeah, like I said, there's so many ways to like really play the deck and do combos with it. I hope you guys enjoyed like kind of like the thought process in terms of building the board, about how I play my hand out and all that good stuff. And if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts below. I really enjoyed this deck. I think this deck is super fun. This deck is super sick. And I've been just loving it. Like, I think the playstyle really suits me. And let me know what your thoughts are. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!